Good morning, world. Well, there's never a dull moment, is there? Never literally a dull moment. Excuse the spot on my nose. Busy, isn't it? It's a content creator's dream, really. What's going on around the world at the moment? You've got ICE agents ending the life of what to me looked like an innocent, panicked woman in Minnesota. You've got oil tankers being seized off the coast of Scotland, I believe it's between Iceland and Scotland. You've got two clowns trying to sign the nation's soldiers or servicemen and women up to a never-ending war, really, because that's what it'll end up being. You've got so much happening, literally so much happening. Venezuelan imposter snatched and appearing in court, literally like well, to be honest, I don't know what it's like. I don't know what it's like. It's absolute insanity. But what I want to talk about really is all this coalition of the willing and the Ukraine debacle, and try and shed a little bit of light on what's been going on. Well, best I can anyway. So people think that none of this has been prepared for, and it's a new thing. It's a new thing that we're going to get signed up to, and if there's ever a peace deal, then our troops will be there. Well, let me tell you, they're already training, and they have been training in Estonia, infantry units and so on and so forth have been training in Estonia, which borders Russia, shares a direct border. I think it's just under a 200 kilometre long border with Russia, so they're right on Russia's border. And they've been doing like sort of wartime exercises with other countries, Switzerland, France, are two that I know of. There will be more, but they've been doing these exercises quite a while now. You can actually watch that. You can actually watch that if you go on BBC Scotland and you type in the troops. It'll take you to a documentary, a 3-part documentary of the Royal Regiment of Scotland. And I believe that's an amalgamation of all the different Scottish regiments now. When I was in it, were Black Watch and Highlanders and all sorts. It's now called the Royal Regiment of Scotland, I believe. Somebody no doubt will correct me if I'm wrong. But they've done an exercise over there on the Estonian border, like a mock-up of when the Russians are coming. So it's all been prepared for. Troops are being trained, equipment moved, regiments readied. But it's interesting to watch, guys. It's pretty interesting to watch because, what's going on behind the scenes that you never hear about. This has been going on for a long time now. But it just shows you really that these parasites, Starmer and Macron, are absolutely literally hell-bent on a war. They want a war at all costs with Russia. Even though Putin's turned around and said on many, many, many occasions he has no intentions whatsoever of invading Europe or trying to do anything to Europe whatsoever. He said that on many occasions, but it's falling on deaf ears. But as long as the British public are hearing it, I suppose that's what really matters, because it's showing up Starmer and the British establishment for exactly what they are. In my opinion, it is anyway. The feeling among the troops, they know what's going on. They've all got social media. They're watching the diabolical behaviour of the British establishment, and have been since 2020 without a shadow of a doubt. And there are many, many, many servicemen and women that are wide awake. So I think you might, although pushback would be limited because of the job. There'll be a lot of disgruntled servicemen or women if they tried to spark a war with Russia, and that's not through fear, guys. By the way, it's not at all, because there won't be any fear involved in them at all. It's just the fact that they know what's going on. You've got so many things going on. Like I say, these two and the EU are absolutely hell bent on a war with Russia because it keeps their scam going. It keeps their game going. Endless wars, more money, profiteering. Takes the heat off governments. No elections, so on and so forth. It's a vital part of their strategy, and that's why they've done it for so many years. There's been so many wars and conflicts that don't seem to end. And when one conflict does end, you moved on to the next one. The very next conflict is there before you even realise what's happening. We move on to another one. But as I say, these two clowns in particular, Starmer and Macron, they're fucking idiots. In my opinion, they're just fucking idiots. They're puffing their chests out, trying to make themselves relevant. Because they're being left out of the negotiations because of what Johnson did in the past. Boris Johnson cost a hell of a lot of lives, hundreds of thousands of lives, scuppering the peace deal between Ukraine and Russia last time when he went over to Ukraine. I'm sure you all remember that. And before that, Britain did it again when there was a peace deal to be signed in Turkey. I can't remember whereabouts in Turkey it was, but a peace deal to be signed in Turkey between Russia and Ukraine, and the Brits did it again, so they've scuppered it twice. So in effect, guys, the Brits have cost so many lives, so many lives. But as I've said before in previous videos, the Brits are behind everything, literally behind everything. If you don't believe it, fair enough, but they are. The British establishment are behind everything that's detrimental to fucking people around the world. They really are. Them and the Zionists, very, very wicked, evil people, and they've got such a long-rooted scheme in place, or way of doing things in place. It's taking a long time to be dismantled, and that's exactly what Trump's doing. Trump's dismantling it bit by bit. Just keep your eyes on it, guys. Again, watch Promethean Report. Have a look at that, have a listen to them, and they'll tell you the same thing. It's been dismantled, and these people are desperate. That's why they're running around doing what they're doing, and you're seeing all these different things happening. But in the background, you've got Trump and the American military dismantling everything that they've put in place over hundreds of years. So keep your eyes peeled and keep watching, guys. Catch you in a bit. Ta-da.